Hey, it's Melissa Pruitt. I am a relationship marketing specialist, and I'm excited to share with you today how to become a conversation catalyst, turning your social media followers into clients through meaningful conversations. So let's talk. Why am I so passionate about this? Well, I first want to just share with you guys the main principle that conversations lead to relationships. This is the main thing that when we get started off talking about relationships, it all starts with a conversation. And the thing about relationships is that they lead to opportunities in your business that you can't even imagine, opportunities that are out there just waiting for you. Relationships truly are the key to a successful business. And I'm going to share with you some examples how relationships have been so important in my business. And my hope for you is that you really start to focus in on how relationships and nurturing those relationships can really skyrocket your business and allow you so many opportunities that you're not even aware of. But before we get into that, I want to share with you a little bit about me and where I'm coming from. So my background is a little bit different than most. I didn't start off in a business background or social media background. In fact, my background is in psychology, and I was a therapist for over 10 years. So as a therapist, I worked with lots of different clients. I worked with women who were struggling with eating disorders. I worked with families, couples, group therapy, and I did that for over 10 years, and I loved working with my clients. And what was interesting working with my clients and what I learned as a therapist is that I had to build rapport with people pretty quickly. They were coming to me talking about some of their deepest, darkest secrets and challenges that they were having. So I had to really learn how to build that trust. Now, fast forward as I transitioned into the business world, what's really interesting and what I've learned in my work working with entrepreneurs and coaching them is that it's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. It's all about building rapport and that trust. So as I teach entrepreneurs about relationship building, I bring a lot of aspects of human behavior and psychology into it because that's such an important aspect to make sure that we're aware of, because again, it's the same behaviors that we have in person that we bring online, and it's all about that relationship building. Now, through my journey, I've had lots of other great experiences, and one of them being a TEDx speaker that was actually came about from a relationship, which I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later on how that came about. I'm a published author and just have had so many wonderful experiences working in this field and transitioning into the business world with that psychology background. But again, a lot of it was based on relationships and has taken me on that journey. So I wanted to share that with you guys just so you know where I'm coming from. There's a lot of psychology and a lot of human behavior that go into this. And having this understanding is really going to help you as a business owner as you are going forward and nurturing relationships in your business. So let's talk about the next thing, which is we know that relationships are the key, to a successful business. Social media is a way that you can market and really nurture those relationships. And that's where we're focusing on today. Now, when I'm talking about social media, I'm talking about Facebook. I'm sure many of you are on Facebook. That's how most of us got started in this world. Facebook tends to be the one that people gravitate to the most. We have Instagram. Instagram is an awesome social media tool. It's actually one of my favorites. I love Instagram, and that's where I tend to hang out a lot as well. We also have YouTube. If you love doing videos and tutorials, YouTube is a great social media platform for those long form videos where you do instructional videos and really teach and connect with your audience. We have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also an excellent social media tool, especially for those that might have a brick and mortar business, meeting people in person, and it's a great way to connect. We even have TikTok. TikTok is a social media tool that has really been growing and exploding. And believe it or not, I even have a TikTok account. I'm still having fun with it right now, but that is also another way to connect with people online. Why do I share with you all of these social media tools? Because it's not a matter of you being on all the things all the time. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. This is not about overwhelm, but I share with you all these different options because here's the thing. People consume information differently. So some people like to read, and so they scroll and they read the post on Facebook. Some people like to look at images. So Instagram tends to be a great social media platform that they hang out. Some people love videos, so they can watch stories or they can go on YouTube for longer videos. Just remember, people consume information differently. So if you're on different platforms, you are going to reach different people with where they are at. Now, there's tons of ways that you can game the system. This is one of the things that I want to talk about first before we talk about relationship building, because this is what I don't want you to go into. And I'm sure you've experienced this or seen this as you're building your own social media platforms. We've seen the follow unfollow method, which to me, I just don't like it. It feels really yucky where you have to follow someone and you unfollow them. It just doesn't feel authentic at all. We've seen bots. And this is really stressed. All these things I'm talking about are not real people. This is focused on quantity and not the quality of our followers. It's just a big yuck factor here. So when I'm talking about relationship building, these are things that I don't want you to focus on. This is gaming the system. Really, what this is, what I want to share with you is all about true relationship building, nurturing relationships, the things that are going to take a little bit of time, but are going to be so lasting in your business, and that's going to lead you to those opportunities. So again, don't focus so much on the quantity of people, but focus on the quality of the relationships. And that is what's going to help you grow your business and give you all those different opportunities that are out there. When I talk about opportunities too, I'm going to share with you about that. But like, this is where I'm talking about collaborations, potential speaking opportunities, potential opportunities to be in front of a new audience. You just don't know where these relationships are going to lead you. The number of opportunities that are out there when you focus in the quality of relationships and nurturing them. So, all right, so we talked about relationships. I think I've stressed to you guys how important they are. But the biggest question I get from people is, all right, I know I need to build relationships, and I know social media is a great place to do it, but what the heck do I post? That's something I hear all the time from people that I coach is, what the heck do I post? How do I build these relationships? And that's what I want to get into, the nitty gritty here, and share with you 3 different types of content to become a conversation catalyst. So I hope you're ready and excited about this. So when I talk about catalyst, here's a definition of a catalyst. A catalyst is an agent that provokes or speeds significant change or action. It's also a person that quickly causes change or action. So when you are a conversation catalyst, you are creating change through the conversations that you're having. You're creating that action, you're creating that connection, and you're nurturing it into a relationship. So what I'm going to share with you today is how to become that conversation catalyst, how you can take your conversations to the next level so that you're truly focusing in on that relationship building that's going to lead to opportunities in your business. So remember, conversations, they lead to relationships, which lead to opportunities. And here I want to detail out with you what I'm talking about those opportunities. I talked a little bit about it briefly before, but here's just some examples of just some opportunities. Of course, we all want clients. That's the end all goal. Clients, and that's what we are working towards in our business, is having those clients. But other opportunities can look like this. They can look like speaking engagements. Like I shared with you, my experience being on that TEDx stage came from a relationship. I had an opportunity where I met someone that knew the head of the TEDx stage and that organization. I made a connection there. I had a conversation. We nurtured that relationship, and that led to me being able to apply to become a TEDx speaker. And he had already established who I was, so it was a great relationship and a great lead in to becoming a speaker. That's just one example of how a relationship can lead to an opportunity. And speaking engagements allow you to talk to different audiences that are different than your own. So it's such a great opportunity, which can lead to clients and more. Interviews. Relationships can lead to different types of interviews where you can interview on podcasts or different people's Facebook groups or communities or in-person networking groups. And again, it gives you the opportunity to share your message and make an impact. Media and press. Opportunities of a media and press is being featured on television shows, newspaper articles, lots of ways to get your message out there. Collaborations. So this is where you see summits that are out there, summits just like this. And you see entrepreneurs coming together because we have very similar audiences, very similar types of clients, and we can collaborate and work together on an idea. That all comes from a relationship and nurturing that relationship. And friendships. Friendships, I have some of the best friendships all over the world, and it all started from a conversation. It all started from that initial reach out on social media, having a conversation, two-way dialogue, and led to just really understanding, who that person was and our interest. And I have some of the best friendships. And I never want anyone to take that for granted as well, because being an entrepreneur can be very lonely. So those friendships are just as important as well too, and such a great opportunity for you as an individual. So my last question to you, let's go ahead and dive in. Are you guys ready to become a conversation catalyst? I'm going to share with you now exactly how we can nurture these relationships through the type of content that we create. And there's 3 types of content that I like to stress, and that you're always creating on your social media platforms. And again, remember, this applies to Facebook, Instagram, any of the platforms that I mentioned. 3 types of content. Now, if you do one of these, it's great content. It's great. It's a great way to kind of position your social media channels. If you do 2 of these types of content, that's even better. But if you focus in on all 3 of these types of content, you're truly are going to become that conversation catalyst by creating those relationships, focusing in on those relationships, which are going to lead to all these opportunities that I've listed here. So let's go ahead and start to talk about the different types of content that you can post. So that first piece is connect. And this is content that's going to connect with people at the heart. This is all about sharing your values and building that like, know, and trust factor. So again, connecting with people at the heart. This is letting people know who you are as an individual. And this is probably one of the most important pieces of content that you can produce, because again, this is building that like, know, and trust factor over time so that you're no longer a stranger. You're no longer a stranger, and you're actually a person that someone knows and is getting to know. So this is all about purposeful connection. So when you come onto my social media platforms, and here's some images of my Instagram, you'll see from a glance what I'm all about. So I like to think about this as 5 connection categories. So when someone lands on your social media platform, think of 5 different things that when you land there in an instant, what is it that you want them to know about you? So for me, as an example, my connection categories are family. I have lots of photos on here having to do with my family. Travel. I love to travel and sharing all my adventures with Paul and I and our travel adventures. And we talk about where we go and all the experiences that we have. Inspiration. I love to share quotes, and you'll see on one of the images there with my Instagram, some quotes that I share. I just love to share inspiration and motivation. Impact. This is about me and the things that I do in my community and what's important to me and the impact that I'm making on the world. And then that last connection category is dogs. So you see there that my photo of Bentley. I love to share photos of Bentley. I love to talk about my involvement with dog rescue and my love for dogs. So again, those are my 5 connection categories. When someone lands on my profiles on either Instagram, Facebook, they are going to get a sense of who I am and what I'm all about. And they're going to connect with that. Other people that have dogs are going to be like, oh my gosh, I have a dog too. And that's going to create a curiosity and an interest and going to lead to a conversation, which will eventually lead to a relationship. So think about those 5 connection categories, those 5 things that you want people to know about you in an instant when they land on your profile. Again, any of the social media profiles we talked about. In an instant, what it is about you that they know and they can connect with you immediately. Now, I do get a question is, okay, what if I'm a private person? What if I don't want to share everything? Here's the thing, and I want to make sure that everyone knows this. You get to control the lens that you share with your followers. So I always use this example. If you love to share everything about your crazy family, crazy Aunt Sally and what she's up to, you can share everything about her. But if that feels kind of icky or intrusive, then you can choose to not share that about her. You can choose not to share that on your social media platform, because here's the one thing I want everyone here to make sure that they are very sure of and they know is that boundaries are the bomb. It's very important that we have boundaries, and for a couple different reasons. Number one, if you're sharing things that are just kind of in that territory where you're not feeling 100% comfortable, it's going to come off inauthentic because you're going to be hesitant. You're going to be questioning yourself if you should be sharing this or not. So it's just going to come off a little bit inauthentic, and your followers are going to feel that too. They're going to feel that hesitation from you. So I think a great exercise for everyone, in addition to those 5 connection categories, is to think about those boundaries and just really list that out. What are the things that you're totally comfortable with sharing? What are the things that you want to keep a little bit more private? And you might have to go this list and reevaluate it every so often. But know what your boundaries are. And then once you figure out the things that you do want to share and share freely, then you can share away and share openly and just let people know everything about that. And then the things that you want to keep private, you keep private. So again, just remember, boundaries are the bomb. Set those boundaries, because that's going to allow you to share the things that you designate that are shareable and that are going to be valuable for your people. You're going to share them very openly, and your followers are going to appreciate that, and they're going to feel comfortable, and you're going to feel comfortable too because you have good boundaries. So again, Connection. It truly is the key to building relationships. So I can't stress that enough, to really figure out those things that you want people to know about you as a person. Because again, this is what's going to build that like, know, and trust over time. And what you're doing, again, is you're no longer a stranger. What's really interesting about this is when you're doing this on a regular basis, and if you just focus on this type of content, I'm going to share with you the two others, but if you just focused on this, you are no longer a stranger, so that when the time comes that you have an offer, that you have an opportunity that you want to share, it's not like you're coming out of the blue with it. They've already connected with you. They know who you are. They know what you're all about. They know what you've been up to. So you're not just coming out of the blue and they have no clue who you are. You're building a relationship through the connection content that you're creating. So I want to move on to the second piece of content that's going to allow you to become a conversation catalyst, and that is invite. Now, this is all about inviting people into your world and also inviting people to work with you. This is great because now that we've had that connection piece and we've been sharing things about our values, we've established our boundaries, now we can pull the curtain back just a little bit so people have an idea of what it's like in a day of a life for us, what it's like in our world. So inviting people into our world is all about behind the scenes. And people are really curious, or like I like to say, people are nosy. So this is an opportunity for you to share behind the scenes into your life to really fulfill that curiosity, to let people know this is who I am and this is what I'm all about. So what I love to do with, curiosity is show behind the scenes of things that I'm up to. So I'll share with you some examples of things that I've shared. So this was a benefit that Paul and I attended. It was awesome because it was for the Paul Rudd All-Star Bowling benefit, and it was for the Stuttering Association of the Young. We got to meet Paul Rudd himself. You see the photo there of us, and it was just such a fun time, and it was really fun to share this post because it was just a really fun experience that we had. Here's behind the scenes of me working at our desk, and this is a day in the life. This is what life is like for me behind the desk, behind the mic, coaching and talking to people. So I share a lot of those behind the scenes. And then another behind the scene experience here is with one of my favorite business mentors, Marie Forleo, and the opportunity to meet her in New York. So I love to share those really fun, interesting experiences because, again, it fulfills that curiosity. It pulls back the curtain at what life is really like for you. Now, I do get a question, and I say, people ask me, okay, Melissa, that sounds great and your life sounds super exciting, but what if my life isn't that exciting? What if I'm just at home? What if, I'm not traveling and it's just me in my office? Well, that's okay too. You never want to take anything ordinary for granted. And what's really interesting is that, yes, I share these fun, exciting experiences, but sometimes some of my most engaging content is actually really ordinary content. It's where my hair's pulled back in a ponytail and I look like a hot mess, but the photo might be just a little bit, ordinary, but the content and the message behind it, it's so relevant and relatable. And that's what people want. When you're pulling back the curtain, when you're inviting people into your world, you're becoming relevant and relatable. And so that ordinary content is actually really awesome content because it just connects with people at that level that say, you know what? I've had that experience too. I'm just like that. So here's some examples of ordinary content. So here we are. We just got off a plane. I'm eating ramen noodles. We were really tired. I think we actually had a layover. So we decided to hit one of the local spots and get ramen noodles. And so there's a photo with me talking about our travel. Here, this is a fun one. So I don't know if anyone has watched the Marie Kondo Netflix show about, simplifying your life. This is me simplifying my life and going through my closet. And there's Bentley looking at me like I'm crazy with me going through my closet and trying to sort out all my clothes. That was a really fun post and an experience I shared with people. And then this one was really interesting. This is me. I was super sick and my hubby came and he took care of me, brought me the roses, the candy, the thermometer, all the things. And again, I'm looking really crazy and a mess there, but look at that engagement there. People were checking that post out. So again, don't take anything ordinary for granted. Share those behind the scenes and because when you share those behind the scenes that are ordinary, it's going to make you relevant and relatable, and people are going to see themselves in that same situation. They're going to think about a time also when they were sick. They're going to think about a time also when they were organizing their house, and they're going to connect with you at an even deeper level because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she's just like me. Now, When I talk about inviting people into your world, that's the one aspect. Now we want to talk about inviting people to work with you. And this is very important because we want to invite people to work with you in different ways. We don't want to do just buy my stuff. Now, how many times have you had that where you've been on someone's social media platform and it's just, you're just overwhelmed with buy my stuff, buy my thing, do my class, buy my stuff. It's a lot and it feels a little bit intrusive sometimes. So inviting people to work with you is not just that call to action. Of course, we want the sale. I mean, that's why we're in business and we want to, reach those clients and connect with them and allow them to know how we can help them. But there's lots of other ways that you can invite people to work with you. And this is all about call to actions. So simple call to actions that you can do on your social media posts to invite people to work with you is leave me a comment. This is great. This creates engagement. If you post something, ask them a question. Questions are great, and ask them to leave you a comment. Ask them to get some feedback on what you just posted. And again, that asking a question, that's humongous. So you can ask a question of your followers, and start that conversation back and forth, two-way dialogue. So you really get to know who that individual is. Send me a DM. So this is another call to action. DMs are those direct messages that you get. And it's one thing to have a comment, but it's another thing when you actually have a direct message in your inbox where you can have a really intimate conversation with someone and get to know them as an individual. I love DMs. I love hanging out in my DM box and getting to know people. And then after you do all this, after you've been asking them to leave you a comment, asking them questions, DMing them, then you can do that invitation to work with you. So again, when you invite people to work with you, it's not just buy my stuff. It's not just here's my thing, but there's lots of little touch points along the way before that action. Again, we're building trust, we're building rapport, and we're connecting with people, getting to know them as people with all these different types of call to actions. And then when the time is right, you can actually give the invitation. So remember, inviting people leads them to the next step. So again, we're inviting people into our world, showing them behind the scenes, showing stories or photos of different things that you're doing to make you relatable. And again, invite them into your world and pull back that curtain to, really fulfill that curiosity. And then again, inviting people to work with you is all those call to actions. But remember, it's not just the big action of, buy my stuff, but all the little things you could do along the way for them to work with you as far as leaving comments, asking them questions, inviting them into a private conversation, and then inviting them to actually work with you or that next level step. So the last piece of content I want to talk to you guys about is positioning yourself. So we've talked about connecting with people, and that's connecting with people at the heart. We talked about inviting people into your world. Now this is all about position yourself. And this is positioning yourself as the expert in your field. And also this is really, if you want to think about it another way, this is becoming the go-to person in your area of expertise. So this one can be difficult for people because I have people when I coached ask me, well, can I really say that I'm an expert? Do I really know enough to really classify myself as an expert? And here's what I got to say to that. Yes, you are an expert. You are an expert because here's the thing. You have the knowledge, the skills, the experience, the background that's unique to you. You have something special to give. You have that inside of you that only you have that experience. Only you have those skills. Only you have that background that makes you unique. So that in itself makes you an expert. So own that because you have a gift to share with this world. Own that. It really is up to you to share that gift to help other people based on the unique experiences that you have. Here's the other thing. When you really establish yourself as an expert and you can own that, and I want everyone here to really own that for themselves. I hope that really, sticks with you. When you position yourself as an expert, you're letting people know that you got their back. So one of the basic human needs, psychological human needs, is to feel safe and secure. We all want to feel that safety and that security. So when you say that you're an expert, you position yourself as an expert, you're letting people know, I got you. I have your back. I can help you. I have the knowledge, the experience. I've helped other people in the same situation, and I truly want to help you out. And when you let them know that, people are going to feel relieved. It's almost like, oh, thank goodness you can help me because, you have the expertise, you know what you're doing. We all think about that whenever we have a challenge. We want to go to a specialist. We want to go to an expert. So let people know that you have their back. You're going to let them feel safe and secure. And this is all about when you position yourself and use your content to position yourself as an expert. This isn't you just bragging about yourself just to brag and say, I'm the best, but this is truly letting people know, no, you know what? Like, I can help you, and here's how I've helped other people, and here's how I can help you. So switch your mindset here where from that, I'm bragging about myself, or I'm not sure if I can really classify myself as an expert, because you have knowledge and expertise that no one has. So own that. And when you own that and you position yourself as the expert, you're truly letting your people know that you got them, that you can take care of them, and that you have their best interests at heart. So let's go ahead and start talking about the kind of content that we should post here. So now that we've all established that we all are experts, here's where you can toot your own horn. And I don't want you to be afraid to toot your own horn, because this is a great way that you can position yourself as an expert. So here's an example. Again, I've talked a couple times about the TEDx stage and the opportunity that I had on the TEDx stage. Well, this is a great piece of content where I'm tooting my own horn. I'm sharing my experience of speaking on that stage. So when I share a piece of content like this, it shows people, oh, you know what? She was on the TEDx stage. She must really know what she's talking about, because people actually listen to her on stage. Are there opportunities that you could share where you've spoken, workshops, things where you've been featured, that's really going to, again, share that level of expertise, and that's going to position you? Now, another type of content is testimonials. Testimonials are awesome because it's not even you saying all the things that you do to help your clients, but it's other people who've had those experiences with you. So anytime I get testimonials, I screenshot them and I share them all over social media. I share them anywhere where people are going to be checking me out, because again, this is such a great way to share who you are as an individual, but you're not talking about it, you. It's actually other people's experiences. And that is just a great way to toot your own horn and let people know, hey, this is how I help people. For example, here with Abigail, I helped her and she's sharing her experience. And then again, where are those places that you're being featured? So another example here was a podcast that was featured, interviews, podcasts that you're on, community groups that you go and speak at in person or online. Screen capture them, take photos if you're able to, maybe, and have someone, if you're at a live event, have someone take a photo of you and share that on social media. These are great ways to toot your own horn. And again, we've now established that, we're experts. We're tuning our own horn, not because we're bragging about ourselves, but this is us positioning ourselves as an expert to truly let people know, I have, the knowledge and the skills and the expertise to truly help you, and I have your back. And, this is going to let people feel that, you are that expert. You have that expert status. You have that experience. It's going to allow them to feel safe and secure and trust you even more with what you do. So again, positioning yourself is essential because it builds trust and authority. I can't stress this enough. So own your expertise and share it and let people know exactly how you can help. Now, again, remember, we talked about all these different types of content to become a conversation catalyst. And can you see when you use these 3 types of contents, how you're going to create change, how you're going to create action? Because again, this is the kind of content that we're putting out to start that conversation, which is going to lead to that relationship, which eventually will lead to an opportunity in your business. So we talked again about conversation catalysts and types of content. Remember, we're connecting. We're connecting with people at the heart. So this is all about, again, sharing those things that are important to you, those 5 connection points. When people land on your social media pages, what is it about yourself that you want them to know about you? And also to having really good boundaries. Boundaries are very important so that you know exactly what you want to share openly and what the things that you want to keep more private. We talked about inviting people into our world. This is all about behind the scenes. This is all about pulling back the curtain and fulfilling that curiosity. And, you could share all the exciting things that you're doing, but also don't forget those things that are ordinary make you relevant and really let people connect with you at an even higher level. And then we talked about position yourselves as an expert. So again, remember, when you position yourself as an expert, you're letting people know you got their back, you got them, and you have the skills, the knowledge, the expertise to truly help them. It's going to make them feel safe and secure, and it's even going to build more trust and authority with who you are. So we talked about the different types of content that we're putting out there to create these relationships. I want to leave you with one last thing just to think about. Don't forget about proactive relationship building. So we talked about creating content, but this is also about you creating a 2-way dialogue. So what does that look like? That looks like you going onto different social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you hang out, and looking at people, what they're posting, and leaving a meaningful comment. So this isn't just leaving an emoji, like a little smiley face or a heart, even though we love those. But this is reading what people are posting, watching what people are posting, and leaving something meaningful, letting them know what kind of impact it left on you, letting them know what you appreciated about that, and starting that conversation. As entrepreneurs, it's truly up to us to be proactive with our relationship building and have this be a part of our daily routine where we're reaching out to people, where we're connecting people, where we're focusing in on the relationships. So yes, we want to put content out there that is going to create that conversation. You're going to become that conversation catalyst that we talked all about today. And that's a big part of it. But don't forget that proactive piece where you also are taking responsibility and creating that two-way dialogue. And when you do those two things hand in hand, you're going to create some awesome relationships in your business. So this has been so much fun. I hope that after, listening to me, you really realize the importance of relationships and how when you really focus in on them and nurturing them, they can truly help your business. They can help take your business to the next level. So I wanted to just share with you just a couple things on how to stay connected with me. I do have a freebie, my 52 Conversation Catalyst, and you see it here, 52conversationcatalyst.com. If you're still struggling with what the heck do I post, this is a great guide because it gives you 52 weeks of content that you could post. Something that you could post every week on, how to create that conversation if you're feeling a little bit stuck. And I also have some other tips on there on relationship building. So that's my gift to you. I want you to grab that and start using that. You can use that on Instagram. You can use it on Facebook. I even have people that are using it in Facebook groups and blog articles. So it's just a great way to create that conversation and start focusing in on the relationship. Now, the other way I would love to stay connected is on social media. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm at Real Melissa Pruitt, real like a real person. So make sure you reach out to me and send me a message too. I reply to all my messages. So send me a message. Let me know where you found me. Say hello. If you have questions, please ask questions too. I would love to stay connected. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, I just want to leave you with this. Focus in on the relationships. The relationships are truly going to be the key to your business. That's going to make your business just grow, give you so many opportunities that you can't even imagine. When you focus in on those relationships and nurturing those relationships, that is going to be a win-win for your business. It's going to allow you to give so much value to people, value that you have inside of you, and it's going to allow your business to grow in the long run. So focus on those relationships. Thank you so much for joining me today.